welcome back to the channel. Today we got a quick look of the Squier 40th Anniversary Vintage Edition Jazzmaster in Seafoam Green. Some of you know that one of the projects I do, I play guitar in a band that does a lot of like the 80s and 90s, you know, rock, some hard rock, some hair metal, some pop rock as well. And this summer we've got a couple outdoor gigs, and I got to thinking that I wouldn't necessarily want to take, you know, my really nice guitars to, you know, an outdoor gig. A lot of variables in outdoor gigs and a lot of opportunities for something to go awry, you know. So I thought maybe I'll get a couple, you know, lesser expensive guitars to take, you know, for those shows. And let's be honest, do we really need another reason to buy, you know, new gear? Not really. And you know, I probably already had some guitars that would, you know, that would fit the bill, but that was what I told myself, at least when I snagged this one. So I guess these were like a limited run for 2022, you know, which was the anniversary. When these were first released, they were like $600. Now, full disclosure, I found this one, you know, new for $300, and I kind of assumed that was, you know, that was going to be a deal. But you know, before I got it, I reached out to Mike Adams, who, you know, anybody into Jazzmasters knows that Mike's kind of like our, you know, go-to guru for anything Jazzmaster, you know, Jazzmaster information and stuff. And he did confirm that, you know, the price of $300 for one of these new is kind of like a no-brainer. So I went ahead and snagged it. If you don't already follow Mike's YouTube channel, you should. He's got a great channel. I'll put a link down below. This guitar surprised me right off the bat with its weight. It weighs 7.5 pounds, which I consider, you know, lightweight for a Jazzmaster guitar. The body is poplar, and that might be one of the reasons why it's, you know, relatively lightweight. But yeah, I think 7.5 pounds for a Jazzmaster, you know, is a really good weight. Like I said, the body's poplar. It's finished in this nice satin seafoam green, real smooth. The finish is actually really nice on this guitar. It's got a maple neck and fretboard, also finished in like a satin finish. It really feels like there's hardly anything on it. It's a really nice feeling neck. C shape seems to me like maybe it's got just a hair more depth, you know, than normal. It could just be my imagination though, but you know, very comfortable neck. The frets on it are, I guess they're kind of like a tall vintage. They're not real wide, a hair taller than what I think a vintage fret is though. But yeah, the neck's really good on these. So it comes with, you know, vintage style tuners. Regular viewers of my channel, like I always say, will know that I like locking tuners. So I did go ahead and put a set of the Godot vintage looking Magnum lock tuners on mine. So another thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take off the original tuners. You know, nothing wrong with the original tuners, really. You know, they're the, you know, vintage kind of looking tuners. I'm going to replace it with a set of these Godo Magnum Lock tuners, though. They're basically the same kind of, you know, shape and design as the originals. They're just obviously locking. And the heights on these are staggered. The top three are a little shorter than the bottom three, and that I'm hoping will allow me to not, you know, not have to use the string tree. But basically, you're just going to take the original tuner off. This tuner is going to drop right in there in place. And then obviously you're going to do the rest of them, and you know, then you'll have your locking tuners on there without having to make the holes any bigger. And there you go. Got the Godo locking vintage Magnum Lock tuners installed. And one thing I did to mine that surely will have some of you up in arms is I took the tremolo off of mine and made mine a hardtail. Okay, so first we're going to have to remove the original trim here, so we'll do that now. And that's the original trim there. If you've never seen inside one of those, it's just a big cavity basically. And we're going to put this one in its place, make this, you know, a hardtail basically. All those holes line up. Just put the screws back in. And that's pretty much it. I have several Jazzmaster and, you know, Jazzmaster style guitars, and most of them still have, you know, the, like, you know, the Jazzmaster type tremolo on them. So if I want that aspect of, you know, Jazzmasters, you know, I'm covered on that. This is a mod that I have done to some of my other Jazzmasters though, and I kind of dig it. I'm not a huge tremolo user anyway. But like I said, you know, if I do want that aspect of a Jazzmaster, you know, I'm covered. I do have some Jazzmasters that have the trim, but that is something that I did on this guitar. The bridge is a Mustang style bridge. It's something you see, you know, a lot of people upgrade to, you know, on Jazzmasters anyway. Another thing I want to do on mine is I want to put a little bit of Loctite on the bridge screws here. Once you get it, you don't want to do that until you get it, you know, get the action and everything exactly where you want it. And then once you know that it's set up, just pop that out, put a little Loctite down on there, let it dry. And what that'll do, it'll keep the bridge from slowly starting to sink. I guess just, you know, basically playing the guitar, the vibrations and all will, you know, cause those screws in there to kind of turn on their own, and eventually your bridge will start to, you know, kind of sink down, which obviously you don't want that. So a little bit of Loctite. I believe Loctite 242, which comes in the tube, is what a lot of the guys use because it's easy to get down in there. The Loctite I have is 248. Basically, the difference is rather than being like a liquid, it's almost kind of like a giant thing of chapstick. So you just use, you know, I'll use a toothpick and put a little bit on there. You definitely want to use the removable Loctite. Don't use the red stuff because that's permanent. And if you do that, and then later on down the road you want to adjust the bridge, you won't be able to. the electronics in this guitar, it's your basic Jazzmaster fare. 2 of the Jazzmaster style pickups. These are Fender design Alnico 5. And they're pretty decent, actually. I might replace the pickups later on down the road. Not sure yet. I like to tinker with my guitar, so it's something that I might do. 3-way switch here, volume and tone, and of course up here, you got the rhythm circuit. And it's all mounted on this anodized gold aluminum guard here, which I think looks really, really nice. But, it's your basic Jazzmaster electronics for sure. One thing I'm probably definitely going to do though before I actually kick this is replace the volume and tone pot. Looked underneath these. These are the smaller, import size pots, and they're not the greatest pots. So I'm definitely going to throw in, some full size, probably something like a CTS or something like that in there. Okay, we'll do some tone samples for you. Of course, that means we're going to do the same riff that we always do, among some others. There's a lot to like about these 40th Anniversary Jazzmasters. A lot of them seem to be fairly lightweight, like mine is. It's got a really nice, nice feeling, nice plain neck on it. And the electronics, are really pretty decent. When, like I said, when these first came out, they were $600, but a lot of places, are running them on sale now. The retailers that still have some in stock. So if you're interested in one, you might be able to find a deal like I did. And I think if for anybody who doesn't already have a Jazzmaster, this might be a good entry, to see if you like them, if you like the shape and everything like that. And or anybody like me that already has Jazzmasters and love the shape and love Jazzmasters in general. It's a good guitar to get if you want to tinker with it, do a lot of modifications and things like that. It would be cool for that too. So I want to thank you guys for checking it out with me. We'll see you next time.